Hi everyone, my name is Jordan. Welcome to my channel. So this week I thought I would restart my YouTube channel basically. I've posted a few videos in the past. I've since privated those, but I just really wanted to give this a go again, see how it goes, and I thought what better way to do that than with a reading vlog for the upcoming readathon. Do the Thingathon. I forgot what it was called. This is a readathon that was created by Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, and there's no prompts or anything like that. It's really just to read books that pertain to your goals for the year. So that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. It's only 5:43 here, so the readathon hasn't technically started yet, but I figured I would make this introduction, talk about what books I'm planning on reading or my goals for the week. So I don't know that I really set goals, I guess, for the beginning of the year. It was really just to read. I gave myself a number, like 52 books, a book a week, just as like a goal to get to. But other than that, I don't really think I had that many goals. I mean, obviously I want to complete series if I can, reread a bunch of my favorite books just so I'm not purchasing a lot of extra books, but those are my loose goals, I guess. I don't really have any set goals, like read this book, read these books, do this, read this new genre. So for this week I kind of created my own goals, and that is to complete series that I've already started in the past and read some of the oldest books on my TBR. So currently I'm reading Unravel Me by Tahereh Mafi. I've read this before. I've read Shatter Me and Unravel Me, but I never got to Ignite Me. So my goal this week is to finish up the original trilogy. I'm not really sure if I'm going to get into the 4th, 5th, and 6th books, but we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping to try to finish this book before the readathon actually starts, and so my goal this week would be to read Ignite Me and some other books. But if that doesn't happen, which it very well might not happen, then I will just continue reading this. I only have about 150 pages-ish left of this, so not too bad. But yes, this is one of the series that I wanted to check off of my currently reading, or currently in the middle of, and just check off a series as completed. Other than that, like I mentioned, one of my goals is to read some of the oldest books on my TBR. I don't really have that many books that have been on my TBR for years and years and years. However, the ones I do own are classics or plays. So we have Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. This is a book I bought as an option to read in high school, and I picked a different book. So I still own it. We're going to give it a try. It's not that long. It's less than 200 pages, I believe. I have absolutely no idea what this is about besides pirates, but it is a classic, and it is a book that I have owned for very long, so I'm going to give it a try, and if I don't like it, then I will unhaul it and it will be off of my TBR. So that's that. The other book I am considering for this week is As You Like It by Shakespeare. This is a book I bought when I went to Stratford upon Avon back in high school, so several years ago now. I have not read it, but again, super short, just a play. I've read a lot of other Shakespeare plays just because I took a class on it in college and reading them throughout high school, and they're interesting enough. I think I bought this one because I think it's the play in the Just One Day series. I think it's a prominent plot point in that somewhere. I don't know. I think that's why I picked this one out when I went. I just wanted, I just wanted a souvenir from Shakespeare's home, and I bought this, and I haven't read it. So this week, that is potentially one of my goals, is to actually read this play. So, I mean, I guess this is like a very tentative TBR. Obviously Ignite Me, and then the rest of Unravel Me. But other than that, we'll just see what happens. If I finish all of those books, I'm going to probably dive into some series, just reread the beginnings of some series that I want to finish or catch up on. But at this current point in time, I have no idea what I want to read. So I will let you know how that goes later in the week. But yes, for now, I just wanted to give this intro clip to the vlog for this week. And I guess I will see you around the time the readathon starts. So it is the official start of the readathon, I guess. It is technically 12:30 on the first day, 12:30 p.m., not a.m. And yesterday, before midnight, I actually finished Unravel Me. So this isn't really a read for this week, but I am going to continue the series with Ignite Me, which is on my Kindle. I read about 10 to 15 pages last night, and then I went to sleep, and I haven't read anything since then. But Ashley is starting her sprints here in about 25 minutes, so I'm going to join those and try to get a good chunk of this read today. These are pretty quick reads to me. That might just be because I've read both Shatter Me and Unravel Me before, but it took me no time to read them. However, I think that was also the case the first time I read them. But I'm excited to see where the story is going. I don't think I mentioned it, but I think one of the goals I'm gonna have for this week is to read 100 pages a day. I don't think that'll be too hard for me, especially with these books. But you never know what happens. There is something I have to do on Thursday that is going to take up the majority of my day, so we'll see what happens. But yes, I will check back in with you once I've read some more, or when I'm on the sprints. So, apologies for the glare on my glasses, but I am about 182 pages into Ignite Me, so just under halfway, and I'm really enjoying it. I think this is probably my favorite of the series so far. I will say I think there were a couple moments where I was just like, okay, really? When it really seemed like the author was trying to, it's like she was trying to backtrack and explain scenes that happened in the first two books that, I don't know, it felt a little too convenient for me, almost like she created this to make this character appear a different way in the final book rather than how they appeared in the first book. I don't know. It just felt a little too convenient to me, and I didn't really enjoy that part. Thus far, there's not really much action. It's just a lot of dialogue and back and forth between the characters. But I will say, I absolutely adore Kenji. He has been my favorite from book one. I like Juliet too. She's definitely grown on me in this book as she's developed. The other characters, they're okay. I don't want to say too much for spoiler reasons, but Kenji and Juliet and their friendship, absolutely everything I could ever want in a book. But yeah, I'm just going to keep on reading. I'm going to try to make at least the halfway point tonight. I might get further than that. I might not get that far at all. We will see how it goes. Yeah, so far I will say that day one has been a success. I have reached my goal of 100 pages, almost doubled that, so proud of that. We will see where the rest of the night goes. So it is now day 2 of the readathon, and yesterday I managed to read 232 pages of Ignite Me. I will say that I'm still really enjoying it. I still think this one is my favorite of the series so far, and yeah, don't really have any more thoughts than what I mentioned last night. Since I read over half of this yesterday, I think I could possibly get this finished today. So we're gonna try for that. We're not gonna say that's what's happening for sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to be reading next. Maybe one of the 2 books I mentioned. We'll just have to give it a feel after I finish this, if I finish this. But yeah, so far I am doing well with my goals. I have read over 100 pages a day, even though it's only been one day. And I'm working on completing a series. Even though I know it's not the technical complete series, it's still like the first trilogy, which was the original complete series, so I'm counting it. I still don't know if I want to continue the series. We will see how I feel at the end of this book. I'm always a little intrigued, even if I don't like 100% absolutely adore, would die for anyone in the book, love the book or the series, I will want to continue just because I want to know what happens, and reading the wiki is not good enough for me. I'm going to go read some of this, see how far I can get, probably watch some YouTube. Probably will do that first, but I will check back in with you once I make some progress. So I have finished Ignite Me by Tahereh Mafi, And I will say that that is definitely my favorite of all three. As I've been saying, this final book definitely confirmed that. I think her writing really improved as she wrote these three books, and I just absolutely adored the character development. Plot throughout was kind of iffy to me. I just like the development, and I'm always a sucker for good characters. That's what makes or breaks a story for me, honestly. I did end up giving this one a 3 stars. It's a very high 3 stars. I've been using the Cawpile rating system created by G from Book Roast, which breaks it down into 7 different categories that you rate, which will add up to average out to a overall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating, and this is a very high 3 star. It's the highest of all 3 books. I think my ranking of them would be Ignite Me, then Unravel Me, and then Shatter Me. So if you don't know, Shatter Me, one of the OG books of booktube back in the dystopian craze, it's about this girl who cannot touch people without killing them. So her touch is lethal. I think that's the tagline in the books. That's pretty much all you need to know. I mean, the first book starts out with her locked in this asylum type place, and she cannot touch people. That is all I really know how to explain the story. I will say, each book, the plot was not very strong in my opinion. I don't know how to explain it. It's just your typical dystopian plot, fighting against some sort of regime, some sort of tyranny, some sort of government that has taken over and is making the citizens live in a very bad situation, bad circumstances, just, you know, your typical dystopian story. A lot of each novel is really character focused, character based. There's not that much action, I would say. This one also had a bunch of focus on the characters and the relationships. At some points I felt it was a bit too much, but again, because the characters were growing on me, I really started to enjoy those scenes more and more. Kenji and Juliet's relationship, their friendship, is still everything to me. That is one of my favorite aspects of the story, and I loved reading those pages. Warner definitely grew on me as the books went along. I will say that there were still some points in the novel where I was like, okay, that's a little bit too convenient for me, so I didn't really like those aspects. And this is also one of those books that, in my opinion, wraps up very quickly. The action at the end is just like in the very last few chapters of the book, and then, you know, the action ends and then the book ends like the next page. There's no winding down moment. There was very little content or pages of the book dedicated to the actual resolution of the plot that has been building, I guess, from book 1. But again, I think that's just a thing that is very common with older YA dystopian books and just YA books in general. I think the trilogy wrapped up nicely where it is. I can see how she took it further into a sequel trilogy, or, you know, just 3 more books. At this point, I'm not jumping at the chance to read the next 3, but if I get the opportunity, I may pick them up in the future. I think I'm particularly interested in the novellas, maybe. I know that there is a Kenji novella, and that is something that I would definitely be interested in reading. But again, it's also just, you know, I want to know what happens. I have a need to complete things. And right now I'm marking this as kind of completed because it is like the first 3 books, what was originally the end. So I'm saying it's completed for myself, but if I want to pick up the next 3 in the future, I will do so. Yeah, that's really all my thoughts, I guess. I did give it 3 stars. And on to the next book. I still do not know what I want to pick up next. It could be one of those 3 books that I was talking about earlier. I also am considering picking up the Matched trilogy, which is another one of those OG YA dystopian, I guess. I know it is not the best, but again, I read the first 2 books and I did not pick up the 3rd one, but I own it. So I'm thinking I might give it a chance. I know the audiobooks are on my library app, so I could read those, but I'm not 100% certain I want to do that. So I'm going to take a break from reading for a bit, and I will let you know what I decide on later tonight. So it is now the end of day 2 of the Do the Thing-a-thon, and I will say day 2 was a success as well. I did not update you after I finished Ignite Me and picked my next book. I decided to go with As You Like It by Shakespeare, and I have since finished this. It was only 96 pages, not including the introduction section and the commentary at the end. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this other than it is a Shakespeare play. It's one of the comedies, I believe. I think I am more partial to the tragedies, whatever that says about me. This one is about Rosalind, who is banished by her uncle, has to go live in the forest where her father has already been banished. She falls in love. You know, things pursue as they do in Shakespearean comedy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll say it's probably sitting at like a 2 to 3 stars for me, just about how the majority of Shakespeare's other plays sit. As I said, I do prefer the tragedies like Macbeth, Julius Caesar, plays like that. But I am happy that I finally read this. It's been on my shelf for 6-7 years maybe at this point. I don't know. I'm glad to have checked another Shakespeare play off my list. It was definitely one of those things that I'm not used to sitting down and reading a play, but I enjoyed the experience. I think I would enjoy watching this play. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Shakespeare play, but you know, just any of them would be interesting to see in how they were meant to be consumed, you know what I mean? I think that's gonna be it for tonight. I'm not sure what I will pick up next, but I will let you know, hopefully. I don't think there's another book I can just sit and read in a few hours like I did this one today. I don't know that I'll pick anything else up tonight. Maybe just figure out what I'm going to read next and then read like 10-15 pages of it, if anything. I probably will just go watch Grey's Anatomy. That is it for day 2, and I've read about 200 to 230 or 40 pages maybe. So definitely a good day again, just like yesterday was. So I've read about 500 pages total, I think, so far in the readathon, which is really good for 2 days. Yes, I will let you know what I pick up next, probably tomorrow. Hello, so it is now the end of day 3 of Do the Thing-a-thon, and I have not picked up a book today. And at this point, I do not think I'm going to be picking up a book. I have a bit of a migraine, and I still have no idea what I could possibly want to read. I still have Treasure Island as an option, but I'm not interested in that at all right now. I don't know if I want to read it ever, but definitely not at this moment. So I really don't know what I'm going to pick up. I looked through my Kindle, and I mean, I could read some of the older Kindle reads that I've had on there for years and years and years. Again, I'm not super interested, and most of them are like the first book in a series, like Under the Never Sky and Everneath. So I mean, seeing as one of my goals is to finish series that I started a long time ago, I'm not super interested in starting another series. That's where I'm at right now. Tomorrow I am making a very long drive to my fiance's house. I could listen to an audiobook. Like I mentioned, the Matched series has audiobooks available for me. I'm not a big audiobook person, so again, don't know about that route. But yeah, at this point, maybe I'll pick a book up, maybe I won't. I don't know, we'll figure it out and I'll let you know later. But at this point, the 100 pages a day thing is kind of a failure, even though I've technically read around 400 pages total, so that averages out to over 100 pages a day at this point. So we'll see what happens for the rest of this week. We'll see how this vlog goes, if you even end up seeing this vlog. Hi, so it is day 4, 5. It's Friday now. I didn't read anything yesterday, so I haven't picked up a book in 2 days now. I just haven't known what I'm gonna read, and yesterday I was driving up here and just didn't feel like reading when I got here. So I think today I'm going to be reading some book that I read when I was in like 6th grade, so like 10 years ago, and I wanted to reread the series because I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to read the second book in that, which is The Mysterious Benedict Society, and The Perilous Journey is the second book's title. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read this in like 2010, so that was like over 10 years ago. So I think I'm going to try to get a decent chunk of this read today. It is around 430 pages, so we will see what happens, but I mean, I don't know that this really fulfills a goal. It's just, I mean, I did want to reread some of these books, some of my favorite books this year, so that's what we're gonna do. So it is now Saturday, day 6 of the readathon. Yesterday I mentioned that I was going to work on reading the Mysterious Benedict Society, and yesterday I managed to read about half of this. I've read a little bit today, so currently I'm on page 222. It is almost 7 o'clock tonight, so I have a few more hours tonight and a little bit tomorrow. I'm hoping to maybe finish this tonight. It's a really quick read, and then at least start on the third one tomorrow. Probably won't finish this for the readathon, but I figured I would just try. If you don't know what the series is, it's a series about these very intelligent children who are brought together after they take a series of tests that they find out about in the newspaper, and they are sent on a mission, I guess, to save the world, you know, as you do. It's really interesting. I really loved reading about it as a child because, you know, super smart children that I just wanted to be. Okay, so now that that is done, as I was saying, a bunch of children, super smart children, sent to save the world, basically, and that's what the first one really follows, and, you know, brought back together the second book. I haven't read these in years and years and years, so I'm excited to see how they hold up, if I still enjoy them. And I think there was a fourth one published. I think there was a fourth one and a novella or like a prequel published since I read these, so I might see if I can pick those up one day, see how that connects to the rest of the story. But yes, for now I'm just going to spend the night reading this, and yeah, probably rewatch some of the sprints from today. Sprints I think that are still currently going on, they might be finished now, but yes, that's my plan for the rest of the day. So it is the final day of the readathon, and I did not finish my book last night, so today we are going to read the last, I have about 90 pages left in that one, and then I'm going to try to make as much progress on the third book as much as I can, and maybe try to finish that tomorrow. Today is the last day of the readathon, so we're just going to see what can happen, what we can do. Hello. So it is nearing the end of the readathon. It is currently 8 o'clock, so I have about 4 more hours left to read, and I probably will do some reading in that time. But this morning I finished The Mysterious Benedict Society and The Perilous Journey, and I gave it 3 stars, which I think is the rating I've given every single book thus far this week. But yeah, like I said, this was one of my favorite books in childhood, my favorite series when I was younger, and I just wanted to give it a reread because I haven't reread it in like 10 years. I highly enjoyed it. My rating is 3 stars just because, I don't know, I would say it didn't live up to what I remembered it to be, but I mean, I just really enjoyed it because of the experience and the nostalgia and the memories surrounding this story. I believe I told you what the first book is about, but I can't really say much about the second book or the third one that I'm currently reading because spoilers, but you know, as middle grade series do, it follows our cast of characters as they go on these adventures, uncover these mysteries, just normal middle grade adventure mystery story thing. I think I enjoyed this one more than I did when I was younger, and I think I enjoyed the first one a little bit less, but I think part of that was because I didn't completely remember what happened, and in this one I think I remembered one minor plot reveal, but other than that I didn't remember a single thing that happened in the story. Same goes for this one, which is the third book that I'm currently reading. I am about 75 pages in, and I do not remember a single thing about this book, but I'm interested to see what happens. There's no way I'll be finishing this before the end of the readathon because that's in 4 hours, and I have about 300 pages left to go, and I don't feel like reading for the next 4 hours straight, so that's not gonna happen. I will say so far I think this readathon has been pretty successful. I think the only one of my very vague goals I set that I didn't complete was to read 100 pages a day. However, I've read almost 1,000 pages at this point, like 950, 975, I believe, if I'm doing the math correctly, which averages out to over 100 pages a day. So I feel pretty good about that. I would say I count that as a success, even though it's technically not 100 pages each day, which is more in line with what I wanted to do, but an average of over 100 pages a day is great in my book too. I finished a series. I read a book that's been on my TBR forever, and I reread some of my favorites, some books that have been sitting on my shelf that I wanted to reread and see how I felt about them in 2021. So yeah, I guess I will update you on my feelings, my thoughts, how much I end up reading of this book in the morning whenever I give a full wrap up of this vlog. I know this vlog probably hasn't been the best quality because I really don't know what I'm doing, because this is, you know, my first attempt at a reading vlog during a readathon, my second attempt at starting my booktube channel, seeing where this goes, how this goes, if I can do it. So just bear with me through all of what you've watched. I'm still working out how to exactly express my thoughts and feelings on books. I think it's been a bit difficult this week because the majority of what I've read has been sequels, so I can't really share much about the plot, just really my thoughts and feelings. I will say so far I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I mean, it's no different than the second book, really, or the first one even. Just a mystery story following these 3 really smart, really talented, really resourceful kids. So yeah, hopefully I can read a little bit more tonight, and I will let you know how that goes. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Ashley for hosting if I don't end up wrapping this vlog up in the morning, which is very likely. This readathon really let me focus on some of my goals, or even decide what my goals were for this year, or like solidify the goals into something more than abstract thoughts. And it helped me accomplish those. It held me accountable, and it really encouraged me to read books that fulfilled those goals. So thank you for that. I had a great time this week. I watched most of the sprints, I think. I didn't really get to participate that much in them, I would say, as in reading while watching, because I was quite busy during most of them. I've had a great time this week, and I just really enjoyed the chill aspect, I guess you could say, because this wasn't a very strict readathon with lots of prompts and challenges. That will be next month when I attempt to do whatever-a-thon, but this was a very nice, chill readathon that encouraged you to complete your goals for the year, and I really enjoyed it, so thank you so much for that. So it is the end of the readathon. It's technically the next day, and I just wanted to come on here and wrap up. So I didn't read anything else last night, just the 75-ish pages I read earlier in the day, but I'm still happy with my achievements, my accomplishments for the week. I finished 3 books, and started another one, and my page count for the week is 1019. So I finished Ignite Me, I read As You Like It, and I finished The Mysterious Benedict Society and The Perilous Journey, all of which came out to 3 stars, so not the best reading week, but I'm still glad to have accomplished a lot of my goals, or obtained progress towards my goals for the year. I did want to mention that I found out last night, I think I already knew this, but I just remembered last night when I saw something on Twitter, that The Mysterious Benedict Society is becoming a Disney Plus series, and it starts like next month, so June, like the end of June. and I'm super excited to see how that goes. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I had a great time this week. I really enjoyed myself, so thank you so much again to Ashley for hosting, and I will see you soon with another video. Maybe week 1 of Whateverathon or something to do with Whateverathon, because that's my goal for next month.